All right, YouTube. So just an update on Snap-on.
We got
Hit the pause button.
one truck in December. He came once in the big truck in December because it was right before I went to Miami. He came. I went to Miami the 12th.
I'm going to say still, when you talk about service,
Yeah, I mean, he came the first week of December.
we have
and
personal
that's it.
service, but we didn't have Snap-on service.
Yeah.
You follow me? So it's nearing 2 months now, going into the beginning of the third month, where we still have no Snap-on tool truck coming weekly or at all. And it's no fault of the tool rep who is now out of his franchise agreement with Snap-on, right?
Mhm. He's now working for another franchise.
He's working for another franchisee now, and from what I understand, it was pretty easy for him to get out of what he was doing there. I mean, he did have to get an attorney, but I don't think it cost him really any money. And he just said, "Hey, this isn't working out. The system's not working for me, or whatever the case may be." I was probably losing money, I would guess. The route's just not fruitful, and that's weird because when you add a 4-bay Jiffy Lube to the area, which is right up the road.
Yeah.
They got to have people in there. They got to have tools, right?
What are they really buying?
Well, they're multi-care. What are they? If they're a multi-care center, I'm just saying, if you add another footprint of technicians to the area, right, you would think there would be some business, and I don't think there is.
I don't think there would be any business from a quick lube like that because, I mean, let's be real. They're doing oil changes and tires and just small stuff like that.
I don't know.
How many
They
times
advertise multi-care. What does multi-care mean?
probably a multi-point inspection and exactly what
I see tires in there.
Well, yeah, tires.
I've read some bad reviews about some check engine light failures and
Really?
fixes. Oh yeah,
That's-
like I went in with a misfire and left with a misfire, and so anyway, if you add, there's got at least 5 people in that building at all time, right? 2 in the pits or 1 in the pit and 2 or 3 up top, manager and 2 service writers and oil lubers and all that stuff. So even adding another footprint of technicians. Not that any other new shops have opened up. That's the only one that's close to us. There is one on Haddonfield Road, Gnomes, that just opened up, but that might
How
be
many shops have closed?
probably a lot, and industrial businesses. So anyway, this is Snap-on. We were told that they were going to break up the route, and we would see somebody. So if they broke up the route and they already knew this was happening in December, why haven't we seen a Snap-on tool truck?
They should have been ready.
It should have been proactive. It should have been ready. So now here we go. Like, my tools are piling up broken. Expensive electric ratchet broken again. 2 impact drivers broken. Snap ring pliers broken. Thank God Caleb has another set of snap ring pliers. I am sure to guarantee that some other Snap-on product is going to fail, and we
Absolutely.
have no service provided from Snap-on. And I'm an advocate of Snap-on tools. Don't get me wrong. I've been buying and using them for years because you're paying for the service, right?
Mhm.
I respect and understand that. Even when the new guys like Jude comes in, I said, hey, you have to have some Snap-on tools, and you can buy. You don't need everything Snap-on, but the specialty stuff and the good stuff you have to have, which is a smaller footprint now, depending on your budget and your eyes and how much you're addicted to the bling of tools. And same for Caleb. Hey, you don't need to have everything Snap-on or Matco or whatever, which we have nobody but Snap-on, and now Snap-on's gone again for the 2nd time in my career with no representation, and I'm getting pissed off. I don't want to mail my tools in. I don't want to worry about them getting lost. I don't want to have to make phone calls. I don't want to do that shit. That's not what I signed up for. I signed up for a tool truck to show up weekly and service me. Regardless if I buy something or not, I still am using them branded products with lifetime warranties that I was sold that I would have consistent service. So over the years, it's done this. Crash. Their cordless tool stuff sucks, and it's cost me a fortune in repairs. I'm switching back to Air Tools, but now when they fail, what am I going to do? I don't have a Snap-on dealer. Now I have to call another garage and say, do you have a Snap-on dealer? And is this Snap-on dealer even going to honor any of my warranties? Probably not. We don't know. If he's not making any money on the front, what's on the back for him? Well, he has to show up here for one.
I got it.
I get it, but my point is,
no, I understand.
you or I should not have to go outside of our way to find service from Snap-on.
No, you're entirely right. But I'm saying, like, if it comes down to it and we really need a guy, I got a guy for us.
Well, we're getting to really needing a guy, because in the next month, we're going to have a box full of broken Snap-on shit.
Yeah.
And then you're going to force us to say, well, even if the Snap-on guy comes back, don't bother, dude, because now I don't trust the brand and I don't trust the service, and I'm sure as shit not trusting the quality anymore, just like the other tool reps that used to come here, and then they just said, screw it, this isn't for me anymore, or I don't want to do this, or I'm going back to being a mechanic, or I'm going to go be an IT guy, or walk at Walmart or Amazon. We don't really have any recourse other than to shift our gears into going to Harbor Freight, right, which the door's always open most of the cases, and it's always a hassle-free warranty, even if you're paying a little bit extra. For me, I don't mind paying $10 for a $30 product for a 2-year warranty that I walk in and I completely mangle and destroy, and I don't do it on purpose. I'm just brutal on how I get things done.
Yeah.
And I'm greeted with a smile. I'm greeted with 0 questions. They say, just go grab another one and come on back up. Do you want another warranty? That part I hate about their warranty program, but it still works. It complements the service. It complements the product line. It complements their commitment to being that leader in service.
Everything's so cheap, they kind of have to do it that way.
Some stuff is fantastic, and the other shit is garbage. And I think they realized that over the years of Harbor Freight. It's like, hey, this product is such garbage.
They have some very, very good product lines.
They have evolved tremendously.
Icon is Snap-on.
Yeah, it's definitely evolved tremendously.
Icon and Snap-on actually share some tools.
I bet he's coming out of the same process.
That's my point.
Just like oil filters.
Some of the process.
They say, oh, oil filters, oil filters, oil filters. They just slap a label on another product line and run it.
Yep.
And then if it's a specific density in metal or micron of filter for like K&N or some other shit like that, I'm sure there's a difference. But mostly you're saying your $1.99 oil filters and your $3 oil filters are coming off the same assembly line, different color, different label, different part number. But I'm just going to say I'm still disappointed. The brand loyalty for me has diminished. I'm going to wind up scrapping all this shit if I don't get anyone to service it, and buy from somebody else that I can rely on, and probably never have another tool truck dealer in here again. Our business isn't like that anymore. It isn't like that anymore. It's not like that. There's no lines of technicians lining up to say that they want a job, that's for sure. No, not at all. I think there's a lot of young guys that come in and say they want to do this, and then as soon as they get through the door and like, I got to get dirty, I got to get cut, I got to make a $20,000 tool investment. I just want to get high, dude, and go home. You know what I mean? Smoke my weed. In New Jersey, it's legal.
There's a lot of guys who I don't think understand the intensity of this. They're like, oh, I'm a car guy, I want to get into it, and then don't realize that, like...
In the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and into the 90s, you had to be good with your hands and know the systems. It's way past what it is today with technology, strategies, diagnostics, engineered issues into the cars, learning waveforms, data, all the different ways of systems work. Dual purge valves on cars today when there was one purge valve for a car for hundreds of years. Multiple VVTs, solenoids, multiple timing chains. On top of the customer not doing any maintenance, it is legitimately, you are a scientist, an engineer, a mind reader, a problem solver, an IT guy, a software guy. I mean, sometimes cars come in, they just need a software update, but how many guys in the business who don't have that training and say, oh wow, well everything's working. They don't know how to read a TSB or a wiring diagram or know how to do a voltage drop or look for a voltage draw.
There were a lot of cars.
Millions of technicians out here who don't know any of that shit.
A lot of cars at Miller that, oh, just do an APM update. Oh, just do an APM
So
update.
first, their first point of attack would say, hey, let's just update the car and see if it corrects the problem. I get that because they're in that environment and they know engineered issues that came right from their software or installation, or hey, this product line connector didn't make it connected all the way on 90,000 cars. And then you got a guy tearing the whole interior out looking for what wire harness is rubbed or not plugged in all the way. Starting at the top, and then that information is only on the inside. Not to get off subject with Snap-on. I'm going to get back on them again, that's for sure. That there isn't lines of mechanics, and I can tell you that when I first started working with Midas, if somebody quit or left, they had employees already in the training program, ready to go. Like you called the main office, like, hey, guy just quit, guy's moving on. Boom, you'd have another guy show up. He already had a baseline on what we did, which is mufflers, brakes, exhaust, inspection process. Not that he was your answer, but it was another body on a phone call. Ooh, phone call. Phone call. I don't have that option here. I think Pep Boys has a little bit of that option, but the pool of employees isn't there. Even for SEPTA. SEPTA had certain guidelines that you had to meet for skill sets and testing. They stopped all that because the people can't even pass the minimum standards to even get into servicing the SEPTA facilities. Same thing with the government, things like that. They said you had to have a college education to be correction officer or police officer. You don't need any of that shit anymore. And where Trump is saying that he doesn't want anybody who's not brilliant in the FAA anymore, he already acknowledges that there's problems, that they're hiring people that aren't geniuses, and he doesn't want non-geniuses, you know, those high level of brain activity people in those positions anymore. So it's just coincidental that we're seeing tragedies like that. But he's right. If he's already saying, I don't want anyone who's not in that skill set or level of intelligence doing these jobs anymore, because they lowered the standards, right, to fill the pool. And when you fill the pool with tadpoles that will never mature into frogs, right, I'm just going to say that, you have a problem. Snap-on, you better get your crap together. That's all I got to say. Right? They have walls of Snap-on tools or Blue Point tools, and I could just go on and on and on for days with Snap-on, 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 Caleb Snap-on, Snap-on, Snap-on. I mean, I just showed you $4,000-$5,000 worth of Snap-on tools, not including that was just the air tools and electric tools.
This is $1,000 here.
Right, not including the electric tools and all the money I put into these low quality electronic parts that have cost me thousands in repairs. So I would tell you it's probably just in purchasing and repairing this over $10,000 investment. Easily over $10,000. Unbelievable. So anyone else out there suffering with this? I am. I don't want to hear the mail-in program. I'm not doing that. Even our own tool dealer with their mail-in program had issues with lost products, lost inventory. I'm not hearing it.